Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. I've run out of stock videos, so the only videos you're going to get now are ones that I have to do, or yet to do. Just finished a marathon 2-day session. Every single pot and some mounts got treated with the fungicide. That's their second treatment, and that will do them now, right through till the autumn. And I have a ready-made spray version of that, which I'm going to be strict this year. The problem I've got with the fusarium is that I could possibly be spreading it a little bit by sharing water. The theory being, if that was true, then practically all my plants that are susceptible would have it. So what I've done is these are precautionary treatments really, so plants get it whether I think they've got fusarium or not. Those that I know that have had it before or whatever, you know, they come into the treatment as well. But it is a precautionary treatment really, but I need to concentrate more on bringing new plants in. I've been very slack over the last couple of years, and new plants have come in, you know, without any treatment at all, and I don't even stop and think about it until I get to repotting time. And that's the time, certainly with the Oncidium types and the Cattleya types, where you might cut a little bit of the old plant off and then you go, oh, here we go again, another one. Well, by then, in theory, by sharing water, even though it's limited sharing, I could have already spread it. You see what I mean? So I'm going to be strict from now on. Every new plant that comes in is going to get treated, and in theory I should have already inspected it if I buy by hand, you know, where I can pick the plant up for bugs and things like that. But most of the places I've bought from in the past, even from eBay, I don't remember seeing plants arriving with bugs. But I do know I've bought plants that are already infected with fusarium, and sometimes it doesn't show. You know, the plant can carry on as normal for some considerable time until it gets put under stress, like when you repot it, you know, and then it just seems to take off a bit. Anyway, finished my treatment now. I've still got to water the mounts today. So they should have been done yesterday, but you know, that was a mammoth exercise yesterday. Today all I had to do was finish off, so I didn't have to mix up much, and I've finished now. So anything on a mount that's Oncidium Alliance or Cattleya Alliance got done as well, simply because in my collection they are the most prone. I don't go round and do all my mounts. I mean, a lot of my mounts are dendrobiums, and I've yet to have a dendrobium with a problem. So I don't worry about them. If I see one going downhill in any shape or form, then I'll start to worry. But at the moment, the majority of my dendrobiums grow fine. You know, they don't seem prone. That's the only thing I can say. Whereas certainly Cattleya types and Oncidium types, I mean, I did my bulbophyllums, they have rhizomes. Yeah, you know, it's more about the type of the plant. My Phalaenopsis all got done. I mean, I've only got one in a pot, the others are mounted, but those mounted ones got done. The Vandas got done. Yeah. The problem with fusarium, if it gets in a monopodial and gets a hold, you've had it. There's not a lot you can do. It's only got one stem, and if that stem's all clogged up, you know, it's just not going to make it. If you can get at it early enough, you know, there may still be some pathways available to allow for the nutrients and hydration to pass through. But once it's clogged up, it's clogged up. There's not a lot you can do. And with a Vanda, you might be lucky and cut up the stem a ways until you come to a clean bit, and then hope for some new roots if you haven't already got any in that area. But certainly with the rhizome types, once treated, they tend to grow clean. So the rest of the growths on the plant from that point on are okay. Yeah, because basically you've killed it off. You can't get rid of what's in the plant, basically. If it's cogged up, then it's cogged up. That's, you know, that's that part of the plant not working properly. So all you can do is hope to grow out of it, which I've done successfully on many plants. It's a shame to have to admit that there are many plants involved, but a hell of a lot of them came in with the problem. They didn't get it here. Anyway, that's a treatment done. I've got no new blooms at the moment, and looking round, I've got this big show coming up this not this weekend now, the next one, and I'm not going to have a lot. I think my red cattleya over there, that'll be okay to go. That should have opened its last few buds, so that's one thing I've got to go. There's not much else. I mean, we've had the plea, the emails come round with the plea, any plants that look reasonable that are in flower, please bring them, we want as many as possible. This dendrobium can definitely go in, because although these two blooms are just about to drop, the rest of them haven't long opened, and they last somewhere between 2 and 3 weeks. I mean, I can check the date when those two opened and have a look at now as they fade to get a rough idea of how long they're going to last, and then work out whether these are not all going to drop at the show. The problem is they look at their best now when they've just opened. Once they start to fade, they'll lose their patterning, and they won't look quite so nice. But that's a good enough one to go. New growths are pushing on nicely on that as well. I've got 2 at the top and 2 underneath, so I've got 4 new canes coming on that for next year, so that'll be good. Effectively, last year's new canes are the 2 long ones in flower. That little one at the back wasn't last year's, that was the year before's, I believe. So anyway, hopefully 4 new growths to bloom next year this time, and that will look good with 4 in bloom, providing they all come out together. I mean, at the moment this cane opened probably 4 or 5 days before this one, but they are out together. But you know, they die off, they fade as they open. But luckily with this one, this is primulinum, by the way, Dendrobium primulinum, the blooms on a cane open very, very close together. They seem to develop at the same rate, unlike something like an oncidium where you've got blooms open at the base of your spike and buds still developing at the top, and they can open over quite a long period. These types of dendrobiums seem to open virtually all at once. So yeah, only a couple of plants to go, but I'm starting to get, for me, what is a little bit excited, which doesn't mean dancing around the garden or anything like that, but it is a big show, it's a big event. And I mean, I've got a setup day on the Friday. I'm helping fetch and carry, I think is the term, dog's body in other words, on the Friday, which I thought was going to be starting at the crack of dawn, but it starts towards lunchtime for the day. Then Saturday I've got the private function in the evening, which is a ticketed function, which is just society members, the RHS and the traders basically, and we're going to walk around in our posh gear and pretend that we're posh people. Some of us are, I suppose, but not me. I might even take my jeans off and put a pair of trousers on. I'm not a dresser-upper, I'm afraid. And then Sunday I'll be at the show for most of the day, somewhere near pre-lunchtime for the rest of the day. So yeah, big weekend, and it should be good. And what I will say now is a prelim. Our clocks change next weekend. We do this stupid British summertime cobblers, but it makes life a little bit easier, because once my body clock acclimatises, it's darker in the mornings, which stops me waking up so flipping early. But it takes a while for my body clock to adjust to that. But we get the lighter evenings, and the bonus with the lighter evenings is once we get past next weekend and the show's finished and we're into those lighter evenings, I'll be able to do a live broadcast again, because the start time on the Sunday will be much later in the day, which means there's a lot more parts of the world that will be out of bed, either just getting out of it or haven't got in it yet. But that's the problem with the EU, being bang in the middle of all the time zones. I'm very conscious of doing a live broadcast when probably 9/10 of my viewers are in the States. And even in the States there's a hell of a time zone change between West Coast and East Coast, you know. But the later in the day I can do it, the better. So I should be able to do something like 5:30, 6 o'clock UK time, which makes it more civilised for other parts of the world, shall we say. Not all, but a lot more than doing it in the middle of the afternoon like I did last time. So we'll have a go at that again. Failed miserably last time due to technical issues. You didn't hear the language because the camera was off, but technical issues that in some cases I should have been aware of, they do generate a bit of language. I hate getting caught up with technical things when I personally should have known better. Things like updates, changing my settings. I should be aware of that. Worked in IT long enough, but I didn't check. So partly my fault. Anyway, we'll see about doing that, but I'll do a proper notice when I make up my mind. But obviously I can't do it next weekend. I'll be too busy. Now that'll do for today. As I said, I've run out of stock videos. I've still got my mounts to water. By the time I've done that and got all these plants back where they go, which includes a bit of shuffling around, I'll have had enough for today, quite honestly. And then I'll have a think about what to film from tomorrow onwards. Might be doing a bit more repotting. Because of what I've done, and I've just got at all the plants, I have actually noticed that some plants that are on the list are okay to get on with now. So we might have a repotting session tomorrow, perhaps. Because tomorrow I'll have absolutely nothing to water. We've got no sun around at the moment. We're having dull days, and the forecast says the first sunny day we're liable to get is Sunday. And obviously the mounts will come round again then if they're done today, Friday, and 2 days later. I'm not doing them every day yet. I haven't got the heat out here. They're going 2 days at the moment. So that's fine at the moment. There will come a time with the longer day lengths and more warmth and warmer nights. Well, I'll have to get on with the everyday stuff again, but not yet. Coming soon. And I've got one little bloom that's opened that I'm not going to film because it's not quite open. So that'll probably be part of tomorrow's. It's the tiniest of plants, but it's managed to bloom. And I had a look at my records. That was in bloom when I got it, and that was this time of year, well, a bit earlier, sort of January, February 2015. And this is the first bloom since then. That tries your patience sometimes. But effectively, the mother plant went to somebody else, and I've been growing some kikis on, and one of those kikis has decided to bloom. So I'll show you that soon. It's not quite open enough to see yet. So right, let's get this block back where they go, and then I haven't got to worry about these sort of treatments. I normally do a precautionary bug treatment sort of this time of year, or perhaps a little bit later, but I'm not going to bother this year. I haven't got the bugs to warrant that sort of, you know, massive exercise. They're just not here this year yet. I'll add that in just in case. But at the moment there are few to none. You know, you could come out here with your magnifying glass and spend a couple of hours and probably not find one. So I'm not bothering with that this year. I'm just going to do a spot treatment every now and again when necessary. The massive exercise can be dropped for this year. I think I'm on top of them now. But I have always said if you've ever had scale, you've probably still got some, and yes, I probably still have. But I got to, you know, I can't find any. And the last little group I found, I ended up, I'm sure I was killing things that were already dead, so I was killing them twice. They had the spot rubbing alcohol treatment on the end of the Q-tip, and quite honestly, they were just falling off. I'm sure they were already dead, but I thought, well, we'll kill them again just in case. But that's the problem. If you leave your bodies around, you know, it's very difficult to know whether you're working with live bugs or dead bugs unless you see them move. So you end up treating something again when perhaps you didn't need to. So it does pay if you get the rubbing alcohol with the little Q-tip type things, cotton wool buds, whatever you want to call them, and get the bodies off. Then you don't kill them again. And if you come back to that plant a couple of weeks later and there's some new ones, then you know they're new ones. rather than re-killing what you already killed 2 weeks ago. I don't do that sort of thing. No, not much. Right, that'll do. And oh, I know what I will film. I'm not going to do it very well, am I? Somebody asked if my Phalaenopsis type dendrobiums are ever going to bloom. Well, they haven't been watching very carefully, have they? 2 of the 3 are actually out now. This is not a good blooming, but nonetheless 2 blooms are better than no blooms. No ID on this one. Lovely white, hint of deep purple inside with a tinge of green. I like that, even though it's a simplistic bloom. And the other one's buried down here, hiding behind Prima Donna. Let's see if I can get to it. And this one is Thai Angel. And again, not a fantastic spike, but nonetheless very attractive blooms. No sign of any spikes on the 3rd one, and that 3rd one hasn't bloomed for ages. I've got pictures of all the Phalaenopsis types I've ever had, so if it does ever manage to bloom I might be able to put a name to it, but not until the tags went missing over the years. Anyway, so 2 of my 3 Phalaenopsis types are in bloom, and my Sarcochilus spike continues to open and continues to impress, I must admit. I wasn't expecting to like this. I can't say why, I just didn't expect. Look, just looking at pictures. But some orchids you need to see. I think the pictures don't do them justice, and I like that little one a lot. I'm not going to go out and buy dozens of the flipping things, but yeah, I'm quite impressed. I like it when I didn't think I would, so that's good. And we've got a shed load of spikes pushing on at a rate of knots up there. That's the Dendrobium chrysotoxum, and those spikes grow fast. They certainly weren't anywhere near that big last time we looked, and that wasn't long ago. You can see that that's going to be quite a good show by the sheer number of buds per spike plus the number of spikes. So that'll have to be dug out from the back there soon and come round to the display area so that we can get a good look at it while it's out. I don't think they're long-lived blooms, so I have to take full advantage of those. Oh, and a quick, those of you waiting for plants, there are no actual potted plants still to go. The only thing left to go are the bare-rooted kikis, which are still sitting here, and I'm hoping to package the rest of the stuff up on Sunday so that it can get to Postman Pat first thing on Monday. That gives it its best chance to get delivered during the first week, and hopefully the Vanda will get packed up at the same time, but I'm quite dreading trying to package that thing, it's so big. But anyway, it's got to be done, and we'll get them on their way as soon as possible. Several people have said they've received their orchids, the ones that were posted at the beginning of this week, but those were UK addresses. I don't think any of the ones to the EU addresses have actually arrived yet, but there's nothing I can do about that. You know, they're in the post. You'll get them as and when your own postal system deals with it. So it shouldn't be too long anyway, not this time of year. So anyway, I shall see you next time. Thanks for dropping by.